Well, now we know the truth. Grand Slam Track was a brand new venture in the sport of athletics that really seemed to bring out a very promising future for the sport. Athletes were getting paid more, there were very interesting showdowns that you didn't have to wait until the global finals to experience, and it seemed overall as an overwhelming positive for what track and field needed. And it was spearheaded by Michael Johnson. And whenever you have someone like Michael Johnson, a gold medalist from the Olympics, an athlete for more than a decade, it seemed like another positive step forward for the sport, as an athlete-driven venture brings that kind of experience for what an athlete truly needs. However, over the past couple of months, Grand Slam Track has unfortunately been dealing with some pretty big issues. And these issues really came to light when they announced that their final stop in Los Angeles was going to be canceled. And many people were wondering what in the world is happening. Was there a money issue? Were there athlete issues, legal issues? Some people were even talking about the fact that there were riots going on in Los Angeles and that this was the reason why the final meeting was not set to take place. However, we finally have some clarity on the issue. And as many people suspected, it all comes down to money. Just recently, the Grand Slam Track founder Michael Johnson talked with Front Office Sports, and he talked about how there are major cash flow issues for this startup track league. According to Johnson, there was one key investor that pulled out after the opening meet in Kingston, Jamaica. And this wasn't some casual investor who put in $100,000 or even $1 million. This is reported to be an 8-figure investment. Gone, taken away, not available for payouts to the athletes or venue rentals. We're talking about a $10 million plus amount of money that is now very much needed in order to pay the athletes and in order for Grand Slam Track to have any future come 2026. Now, Johnson stated that this created a major cash flow issue for us. It put us in a difficult position, it put our athletes in a difficult position, but he also stated that we're very confident that we will pull ourselves out of this. Now, I don't really know exactly what their current situation is after this investor pulled out, but saying that you're confident that you're going to get back $10 million plus in a startup league like this after having to cancel your final event seems a little bit too optimistic for my tastes. There's not an exact amount of money that has been stated that is missing, but for the athletes themselves, they are currently missing more than $13 million in prize money, which is a huge sum of money. It's almost impossible to believe how much money is currently missing from the athletes themselves. And it still remains to be seen when they will be paid, how they will be paid, and what that is going to look like. But for now, Grand Slam Track finds themselves in some pretty difficult water. And I also wanted to report that Forbes' Corey Mull revealed earlier that Grand Slam Track has not paid their $30,000 payment for its facility rental in Miramar, Florida, as this was originally due on July 18th, and the total amount of money due is $77,896. This is a much smaller amount of money in comparison to the prize money for the athletes, but all the same, this is yet another outstanding debt for Grand Slam Track. Now, I will make sure to leave a few articles down below in the description, and I'll make sure to leave Johnson's interview in the description as well. One final piece to this very bizarre puzzle comes from the tariffs that Donald Trump put into place earlier this season. And these tariff implementations threw the entire economy into a rather strange purgatory. A lot of people had uncertainties, the stock market started to crash, and apparently this was the inflection point for this investor to back out of Grand Slam Track. Now, there's still no exact reports on if this is truly the case, but there were a lot of issues that came along with these tariffs, so perhaps there is some credence to this exact situation. But either way, this is just not a good look for Grand Slam. It's not a good look for the athletes, who of course are waiting to get paid. And I honestly have no clue how to look at this entire situation objectively. There are just so many things that need to happen still, and if they do in fact want to continue in 2026, they will need to get the athletes paid. I can assure you that if the athletes are not paid moving into 2026, when Grand Slam potentially will happen again, they are not going to sign up. They are not going to want to run in a race where they are not going to get paid. However, there is still an opportunity for Grand Slam to make good with their payments, make good with their promises, and hopefully they can make it back on their feet in 2026, because we were actually lucky enough to be one of the few channels selected to stream Grand Slam. We got to stream Kingston, and we also got to stream the Philadelphia Grand Slam. And hopefully, moving into 2026, track and field can continue to reach huge numbers and become the sport that we all know that it can ultimately be. But for now, I would love to hear all of your opinions and thoughts on this exact issue. What do you think about the outstanding debts? What do you think about the dropped 8-figure investment? What do you think about this entire Grand Slam situation? Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, until next time.